Brad from Pro Wrestling Junkies, and today we have a gentleman who hails from Long Island, New York. We've seen him in Creative Pro Wrestling Academy, CZW, A Matter of Pride Wrestling, and of course, AEW twice earlier this summer, once against Shawn Spears in AEW Dark, as well as another episode where it was six-man tag went up against the Jurassic Express. He's part of the Shook crew with Bobby Orlando and Bryce Donovan, and I give you Platinum Max Caster. Max, thank you for coming on.
Wow. You did your research. You found out where I wrestle. Some people just don't know. They're like, oh, so you're a guy who does stuff? Like, how you just started wrestling?
I could just interview like one of my kids' friends, otherwise. I was like, of course, I'm going to do some research. So, EW, had you been in the ring? Had you worked with Shawn Spears or Jurassic Express before? Or was that the first time?
That is the first time I met Jurassic Express. Shawn Spears I met at a Creative Pro show, his first match back on the Independents. But, we didn't wrestle. He didn't remember me from that. I think after I told him I was a Creative Pro guy, he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I was there. Yeah. But, yeah, that was my first time meeting all those guys. And aside from beating me up, they're really nice. So it was cool meeting them. Yeah.
Do you have any input into what's going to happen during the match, or like certain spots, or is it just like you follow? They kind of are the ring general. You listen to them.
I mean, in a match, I can try and control what I could only attempt to control it. These guys are professionals, so they have control of the match. So when I'm in there, I don't know what they're going to do. I find out who I'm going to wrestle that day. I didn't do any research. They hit me with a lot of stuff, and that's perfectly fine. But the only thing I want is another chance to get back in there and then show them what I can actually do.
Oh, for sure. I went back and I watched those matches. Yeah, that would be great. Another opportunity. Do you have to get together beforehand and kind of talk things out, or get in the ring, or is it just you go to the ring and you just listen?
You go to the ring.
AEW.
For me, I just go to the ring, and you never know what's going to happen when you step in the ring. So, like I said, I didn't do any research on these guys. I didn't know who I was going to wrestle going into that day. And even if I did the research, how am I supposed to know exactly how a match turns out? So you just kind of go in there and you listen and you figure out, okay, maybe these guys are going to do this next, or you never know. What if these guys get hurt? What if I get hurt? What if my partner gets hurt? So you never really know, and you have to be ready for anything whenever you have a wrestling match.
Are you nervous going in, or like a combination of nervous and excited? Like for that opportunity?
So the Jurassic Express match, no. That was fine because I know what I have to do is I was tag teaming with Luther and Serpentico, and these guys have a totally different vibe than me. So I knew I had to go completely opposite, and I had to stand out, and I did what I could do and what I had to do to be a little bit different from those guys. And so I think that was fine. The Shawn Spears one, I would have been perfectly fine. The only difference is we were set to wrestle at about 7:30 p.m. So it was before Dynamite. Yeah. And they had to push the match back till afterwards because of thunder outside. So that was a little bit different to where I was warmed up and ready to wrestle, and then it was, no, actually, we're doing Dynamite first. You're going to wrestle right afterwards. So it was, 2.5, 3 hours waiting to have that match that I was ready for. And so that made me a little bit nervous, like giving me more time to think about it, but it turned out okay. He beat me up,
fine.
But it was fine.
It looked great. So how did you get into wrestling? Were you a fan like when you were younger, growing up?
Yeah, so When I was a kid, I can't pinpoint exactly when it was that wrestling became something I was cognizant of, but we had Super Nintendo, we had the video games, we had Royal Rumble, and we had WWF Raw, and then eventually it turned into us watching wrestling on Saturday mornings, and that turned into Monday Night Raw, Monday Nitro, and it kind of just grew from there. And so, just like any kid, you fall out of it at a certain point.
When girls start like.
Not even. I was super into football.
Okay.
Really into football. And at about maybe 9th or 10th grade, I got back into wrestling big time, and I've been into it pretty much the whole time since then.
Did anyone give you trouble, like when you said, I'm going to pursue this, pro wrestling? Did anyone like, oh, you're not going to do that? You're not, you'll never make it, that kind of stuff? Or were you like, did like your friends, family support you?
It was kind of in the middle of that. So I told my parents, I was already graduated college. I was working a part-time job. And I said, I have to pay for wrestling school. I want to do it. It's $2,500 for the year. What do you guys think? And my dad was just like, it's your money, do whatever. Like, not in a dismissive way, but he was just like, it's your money. I was like, okay, well, if you're not going to tell me not to do it, and I don't care about anyone else's opinion. It was just kind of, okay, I got to send them my money. And the weird thing is, I had never met Brian. I had never met Pat. I'd seen Pat's shows. He was running shows in New Jersey. I'd been to those. And I knew Brian from watching TV. So I was like, okay, there's no way these guys will steal my money. So without meeting them, I PayPal'd them $2,500.
Okay.
And then they did right by me, thank goodness. So.
And did they did they put you through the paying your dues?
I mean,
or is that something that's continuous?
Yeah, I think every wrestler who's serious about being a wrestler, I can't tell you how many guys sign up and their goals are not in check. Like, guys, I can ask a class full of guys, 10 guys, what's your ultimate goal? And they'll all say WWE, or I want to be on TV, or I want to be the world champ. But I know that some guys don't have the one, dedication, and two, ability. And as sad as that is to say, some people just don't have the ability. And when you don't have dedication and you don't have ability, you're not being realistic with yourself. So we, I forget your original question, but
it was just it was about paying the dues. That's great.
Oh, okay, great. So that being said, my goals and my dedication and my ability have always been pretty top notch. And I feel like I could say that about myself, wrestling for 6 years. The way I've improved, the way I've stayed at it. When I wanted to quit, I kept going. I put myself out there. I failed plenty of times. There were times where I was sure I was not going to wrestle ever again. And I just kept wrestling. And by no means am I a star now. And by no means am I some sort of veteran master.
Yeah.
But I guess you're always kind of paying your dues. But in terms of training, roundabout way to get to your question, in terms of the training is always hard, but it's a matter of how dedicated you are and how disciplined you are. And it's really, after that, as long as you have dedication and discipline, it's not really paying your dues. It's just doing what you have to do to be a wrestler. So no one ever beat me up. No one ever made me carry their bags. Nobody ever made me wash their car or do errands for them. They just said, you need to do these things to be a great wrestler. And it's running, hitting the ropes, taking bumps. You're getting punched, getting kicked. And these things are all playing into being a great wrestler. And so that's what it is. That's what paying dues is.
Was there a point where like a veteran pulled you aside and said, "Hey, you're doing good"?
There was one time we were eating after practice one day, and we were just talking, and I told Brian that I only signed up because I was a broadcasting student in school, and I was working for a radio station, and I said I only really signed up to wrestle because I wanted to be an announcer, and I had no idea how else to do it. And he said, "Well, can't do that, you're too good." And so that was maybe about a year in to training. So
and that gives you
like,
some confidence.
So at that just told me I was on the right path. I think I can be an announcer or any sort of broadcaster anytime I want, but wrestling,
yeah, you have a window for that.
Yeah. So I'm in my window right now. I keep improving, and I haven't reached my peak yet, thank goodness. I don't think my bump card is filled up. I'm still taking bumps, and I'm still wrestling smart. So I think I'll be a wrestler for a while.
That's great. So like, what motivates you still, like today, like to have a good attitude? I'm gonna go work out, get in the ring.
It's just to be the best. This year was the first year that I wrote out serious goals for wrestling, and we do it every year at Create Pro, and it's a ritual at the start of the year. Everybody writes out 3 goals and 3 people they want to wrestle or work with, and this was the first year that I took it seriously. Like previous years, I didn't really know what I was doing, but at this point I had changed my name to Platinum Max, and I was doing the rap stuff, and I knew where I was headed, or I know where I could be headed. And my goals were come back in better shape after my injury. So I had knee surgery in the winter. I came back in much better shape in March, and I'm in even better shape now. So that's one goal. My second goal was to sign a TV contract, which I feel like every single day I'm getting closer, because I keep getting told, okay, I talked to this guy, he's a fan of you. And so it's kind of like working up the ladder of which, it's almost like which TV company is going to take that chance first. And it's even the same with independent companies with me. A lot of people, a lot of people support me. A lot of my peers support me, but a lot of wrestling promoters see me and they're like, okay, well, he's probably a TV guy, or he's not going to have the type of match that our fans want to see. And maybe that's true, but also I'm the best wrestler alive, and there's a reason why I call myself that. It's because I believe it to be true. And you put me in the ring with anybody, it's gonna be the best match of the night. It's gonna be I'm gonna have the best performance of the night. So I am the best wrestler alive. So okay, so number 2 was TV contract. Number 3 was to be a happier person, and so far that's been a lot better. So wrestling, I always say, takes a mental toll, an emotional toll on everybody who's in it. And no one seems to remember that when you go online and you bash a wrestler. Maybe they messed up a word on one of their interviews, or they slipped in the ring and something happened, and you just go online and it's like, you're just killing these people. And even without that, wrestling is such a hard thing where you're getting rejected all the time. You think you're wrong. You think you're not good enough, not in good enough shape, not attractive enough. Like, the fans don't like me. No one wants to buy my shirts. Like, it's a constant just beat down. And as long as you can overcome that, then that's when you become a successful wrestler, when you can be happy in your skin as a wrestler. That's true success in wrestling, I feel.
Wow, what an awesome answer. All right, I am going to let you go soon. I'm going to ask you 5 Random questions, yes and no. Yes or no, you don't even have to elaborate if you don't want. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
You ever lied to a priest?
I'm gonna say no.
Without saying a word, you gave away your answer. Okay, no. Are you afraid of robots?
Just in the sense that they're gonna take all of the jobs.
Did you invent the iPhone?
No.
Okay. Do you believe that elves live in the North Pole?
No.
And then the final random question is, have you ever run out of toilet paper in a public bathroom?
No, that's never happened. I'm always, hey, look, listen, okay. You always have to be careful with the toilet paper situation.
Oh,
when you go in there, you need to just check what's going on. If there's not toilet paper, there's a paper towel dispenser. If there's not one of those, you can find something else somewhere else in the building. Like, there's no excuse.
Yeah, I was in a bad situation in the train station. That's what made me think of that. But that was a long time ago. And that's the worst place. All right, Max, thank you so much. It was really informative, and I really appreciate that. Are you going to do any shows coming up?
Yeah, so I have a show the next 2 Sundays. I'm at Test of Strength Wrestling. That's in Connecticut, in, I believe, Hartford. And then we are back in Atlantic City on Sunday, the 23rd of August. And that's for Beyond Wrestling.
Oh, okay, great. So are fans going to be present?
As far as I know, yeah, fans are going to be present at these shows. Mm-hmm. We did Atlantic City already before a couple weeks ago, and the fans are nice and spread out, and it's outside on the boardwalk. So
you guys are safe; they're safe. All right.
As much as we can, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you again. I'd love to have you on, and we can talk more. And stay well and stay safe and good luck. And I'll keep an eye out for you on the internet and on YouTube and stuff. All right. Thanks so much. Take care.